Hi, I'm Jessa, and I love teaching math. Let's get started.
So factoring is kind of the opposite of distribution. So we're undoing distribution. So remember, when I say distribution, I'm talking about when I have two quantities, like let's say x plus 1 and x plus 4, and I FOIL them out in order to achieve x squared plus 5x plus 4. So that's the distribution. And when we do factoring, we're given this end result, and we're being asked to reverse the process, go back, and tell me what two things, when you multiply them, give you that result. So this is what we're doing in factoring. So when we factor, for most students, you're going to be seeing that x squared term is going to be the largest. So let's go ahead and do an example, and let's do some visualization of what's happening. So again, I said that we're kind of undoing this process of distribution. Most students, you will have had your instructor tell you that you need to multiply to equal this number, this last number, the 2 in this example, and you need to add to equal whatever number is in front of the x. In this case, it is the 3. But what we're doing, let's visualize it, is we're pretending that we have a rectangle, and this rectangle has length, x plus some number, and width, x plus some number. And so this is what we're doing. We're saying, well, if I had a rectangle and the area of this rectangle is x squared plus 3x plus 2, then what are these two numbers? What are these unknown quantities? What two things, when we add them together, equal x squared, multiply them together, equal x squared plus 3x plus 2. So I'm going to write just number symbols here to represent that we don't know what they are. They're questions for us. Now, it's possible that these numbers are negative, but for our first three examples here, we're going to work with positive numbers to just get the process down. So if I'm looking at the area of this rectangle, I know that this first component is going to be x squared, and I know that this lower right-hand area is going to be 2. So the pieces that are unknown are the upper right-hand and lower left-hand. So these things add together to equal the 3x. And that's what we're doing. We're kind of undoing this process. So what two numbers, right, multiply to equal 2 and add to equal 3? Well, the only two numbers really that multiply to equal 2 positive numbers, because we're starting with positive net values, is going to be 1 and 2. And lo and behold, 1 plus 2 also equals 3. So when I factor this, I end up with x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals x plus 1, x plus 2. And so that's what we're doing when we do this process. So let's do another example. Let's consider x squared plus 7x plus 12. Again, I need my two values to add to equal the 12, and I need, multiply to equal the 12. Multiply, and I want them to add to equal the 7. So that's what I'm looking for. And again, this poses the question, almost like a riddle, or however you want to think about it, a puzzle. What two numbers can go in here to meet these conditions, that those two numbers add to equal 7 and multiply to equal 12? So most often what you want to do when you're doing this is, what are all the things that you can multiply to equal 12? So possibilities. We have 1 and 12. We have 3 and 4. And we have 2 and 6. And that should be all of the values that when you multiply them, they all equal 12. So equal 12, equal 12, equal 12 when they're being multiplied. And then the question remains, of these three possibilities, which ones add up to 7? And in this case, 1 and 12, when you add them together, they equal 13, so that's not right. 3 and 4 equal 7, and 2 and 6, we can just double check, they add to equal 8. So 3 plus 4 is 7, 3 times 4 is 12. So I know those are my two unknown numbers here. So my answer for this, x squared plus 7x plus 12, is equal to x plus 3, x plus 4. Now, as a side note, some students will sometimes ask me if it matters what order these are written in, right? Do you need to put the plus 4 first or a second? And you do, it does not matter. So if you have 3 times 4, that's the same as 4 times 3. So you can write these two parentheses in either order and it doesn't change the answer. So when we do this, we just go ahead and pick, dealer's choice. Whatever you want to do, whichever one you want to write first is up to you. So that is the beginning of how we factor. You can see future videos for how to handle what happens if we have any of these numbers being negative. We'll also talk about the quadratic formula and a little bit about complex numbers.
If you have extra questions, you can go ahead and post them in the comments and I'll try to answer as many of those as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to get more help with math and see more of the math content.